Hi, I'm Olwethu Leshabane and I absolutely love property. So welcome to Home to Live. Home to Live is where we'll explore some of the ways in which a place to live can be a home to live. So today we've been invited to an apartment that has been given a facelift without many structural changes. So let's go explore and check it out. Join me.
Before this property was renovated, it looked purely like an old-school Johannesburg apartment.
Shanaz, thank you so much for joining us. Can you tell us a little bit more about your role on this project? And then we'll walk room to room, I think, and just really discuss it.
Well, thank you firstly for having me. So I'm the project manager on this particular project. So what we were trying to go for is a Scandinavian-inspired home, and obviously that lends itself to monochrome or a monochrome palette, as well as very neutral and natural shades, also taking into account very earthy elements as well.
Yeah, I mean, I love how everything just kind of comes together so flowy, so beautifully. There's such different elements in each space, right? But each space still kind of flows into like one. And as you make your way through the whole space and through the whole apartment, you kind of get the feel of there was, at least one eye that was overlooking all of this. So you do see how it all flows together. But let's start in the kitchen. What were the things that you were really looking to change in the kitchen or to switch up?
Okay, so when the designer came up with the lookbook for this particular, or the inspiration behind this was obviously Scandinavian, and what she wanted to achieve was we were not allowed to make any structural changes to the actual home, and she wanted everything to look clean and uncluttered. She was looking for a minimalistic type of approach to the home, where somebody who was a single person or perhaps a family of two was able to live in. And so we started off in the kitchen and we literally gutted out the entire kitchen and went for a wooden palette with regards to the cabinetry. We changed all the tiling in the kitchen as well. So we went for a more white tile, but over and above that, the way we had placed the tiles is obviously what made all the difference as well. We didn't go for a conventional straight line pattern. We placed in a custom design blind as well. We then went for a post form countertop, which also blended in quite well with the wooden cabinetry.
Let's talk about the lounge. What I really, really like about the lounge is you kept it simple, but there were certain elements that looked like a lot of effort. But then you move in closer and you realize this is it's so simple. From the wallpaper to the rug on the floor.
Yeah, so what we did was, prior to us doing the renovation, there was Crete stone on the wall. And so we smoothed out the walls and we kind of went with the same paint palette throughout the house. Over and above that, we then needed a feature wall, which is what you saw with regards to the wallpaper. And there again, we went for a more wooden natural look. So that could be the feature wall of the home. Yeah. We then obviously added in the tiles and we went for a more natural cement look with regards to that. And here again, we placed it throughout the home, except for within the bathroom. With a monochrome palette or with a Scandinavian themed home, it can sometimes come across as very cold. And so we warmed it up with the rugs that you'd seen in the home, as well as the throws, just to add in an extra element of warmth and coziness to the place. We also added quite a bit of plants. We wanted, more natural light and life in the home. And so we added quite a bit of plants in it as well. With regards to the curtains within the lounge as well, because a Scandinavian inspired home lends itself to airy spaces and lots of natural light, we opted for a cappuccino shade curtain as well as voile that was light in shade.
And can you walk us through the study and the simplicity? And I see also a golden thread of wood in certain aspects. I saw the wood in the kitchen, I see the wood in the lounge, and I'm picking up on the wood again in the study.
What you saw in the study was that we'd had wallpaper applied again as a feature wall, but here we chose a pop of blue with a little bit of rust in it as well. And that obviously brings out more of the natural shades within the space as well. We had a rug again placed within the space, as well as a wooden cabinet for your books, and we went with a natural wood look with regards to a study desk.
And as you move from the study into kind of the main bedroom, between there you have the bathroom itself, and the bathroom kind of is an art feature in this house.
Yeah, so the bathroom is very monochrome. And what we did was we used some hexagon tiles, but we went with the shower from a black to a white theme. And you would see that the tiling is not done perfect. We wanted some of the imperfections to come out in that particular space. So it didn't look too clean and cluttered. We wanted it to come across as something that was more playful and natural in that space. And to add to that, what we did was we added some wooden elements. We had a duckboard placed in there, as well as some gray tiles, just to make sure that the space, again, doesn't look too clinical or sterile. And of course, gray definitely then lends itself better into those kind of spaces.
And you chose not to use a conventional door, right? You kind of went for the barn door feel. And opposite this barn door feel, you put another barn door for where the linen closet is. Is this to create more space for movement?
Yeah, so what we did is that we chose a barn door because the bathroom was quite tiny. It had a door, it had a shower door, and so it was going to feel a little cluttered. And what we were trying to go with is that we wanted a space that was uncluttered and it was minimalistic. And by having a barn door placed in its space, it then created exactly that, a feel that the bathroom was bigger instead of two doors opening up against each other.
Yeah. And then as you move then towards the bedroom, I'm loving the simplicity. I'm loving the neutral tones. I'm loving also just the flow in there, almost like from the lounge, the tiling is the same. And then you kind of just get this burst of light in this main bedroom.
Correct. So the main bedroom obviously lends itself to most of the natural light for this particular home. And this is why we opted to place the master bedroom in this particular space. What we done in this particular space is that we made sure that the wall again had its own feature wall. We added in seafoam, which was the paint that we'd chosen as the feature wall. We added a wooden headboard, which again brings in the same theme and the same element that you'd seen in the rest of the house. And we also had a floating shelf that was placed in this particular space. And here again, we were looking for a more natural feel within this particular space. You'd also see that there was a tall boy that was placed in there just to add an additional cupboard space for the particular or for the main bedroom.
I'm loving it. All the cupboard doors were also from builders. The elements are from builders. The lighting from builders. How easy or maybe even tough, I don't know, was it shopping for all these elements and just finding all these pieces to put together into one space?
Well, I was very fortunate. We had an amazing designer that worked on the project. She had a very clear vision as to what she wanted to achieve with the project. And so my role and responsibility became a lot easier with shopping for it because she'd already put most of the elements that she'd wanted in. Of course, it didn't always go according to plan. And because Builders has such a huge variety of options, we were able to move from one option to the other when we weren't able to get our vision the first time round.
And just the last thing, as we round up all this whole space, as you move out from this beautiful wooden features in the lounge to just the greenery, you then flow out, and you kind of have the tile flowing out into the patio and grassy feel into your little garden space. What was the idea behind creating this, like a mini oasis in the middle of the city?
So for us, we wanted to make sure that it's a space that the person who is going to take over the property gets to enjoy while still living in an apartment. We wanted, again, a very minimalistic approach to this particular space. All the plants that were selected for it we wanted the same type of look and feel. We didn't want any flowers. We wanted it to feel uncluttered. We then placed in a flower bed and also the furniture again in the space. We wanted it to look clean and sleek, but still within keeping with the Scandinavian theme.
Absolutely love it. I love the home. I love the vibe. It's kind of, you feel like you want to come back and relax, right? After a long day. You also have this work from home vibe about it, where you can switch on and switch off as you move between a space. Thank you so much. Well done. What a beautiful space you've created.
Thank you, and thank you for having me.
Hi Tracy, thank you so much for joining us today. What was your role in this project? And before you tell us about your role, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
So I'm Tracy and I'm with Private Property. And for 20 odd years, we've been inspiring people to purchase properties and turn them into their own homes. And for the first time ever as a brand, we decided to take the plunge and buy a property ourselves, partner with builders and renovate it, and then show consumers firsthand what this renovation journey could potentially look like and how easy it is to inject value into your home through renovation.
Amazing. I mean, you guys seemed to pull this off so beautifully in a very short space of time. What are the elements to kind of look out for and the things to look out for when you are renovating?
So I think it's important to understand why you're renovating. So if you're renovating for yourself, the decisions you make around your home renovation will be very different than if you're renovating for someone else to live in.
Yeah.
Obviously, your costs, your time frame is a big consideration, and how you live while the renovation is getting done, you need to also consider.
I know that all too well. I know that all too well. Living in a construction site during lockdown was not it, but we did it. So, when you're renovating, you're obviously, some of the things that come across my mind as we were renovating is this going to up the value of this property? Is this, let's say we move or we go somewhere, we relocate, will I be able to fetch a good rental on this property? So how do I know these things? And how do you kind of get indications as you renovate, whether is it going to be good price for selling or renting out?
I guess you must maybe just start with what it is that you want to achieve. If you are going to be renovating to lease it out, keep your renovation as neutral as possible. And then, of course, making sure that you have the right contractor or the right suppliers. Don't cut corners. Renovation mistakes are incredibly costly. So, and finally, I think get expert opinion on what the property could sell for, and then keep your renovation within those boundaries.
And, it does get quite tough. So finding the right partners is important, right? How do you ensure that you find the right partners?
Well, there's a lot of information that's already available at your fingertips because, DIY for some is not the same. If you've never done it yourself, how do you start? I think the first place to start is with the information that you can find on the Builders blog and also the Private Property Advice Center. Find good, credible contractors, and the Get It Done app that Builders have give you access to qualified, accredited contractors. I think that's really one of the best places to start. Also, word of mouth. Listen out for people who've done great jobs at renovating properties, and then, get them involved as soon as possible. Get them involved as early on as possible.
Yeah, thank you so much. That was such meaningful advice, especially as, like we were speaking earlier off camera on that. I had this idea that I'd be done with my renovations by now. And obviously you guys were able to turn this very quickly, and it's stunning, with beautiful detail. And sometimes it's a longer journey for some, right?
I think it's actually a longer journey for all of us. I don't know very many people who can actually get the project done as quickly as we did and in full completion as we have. But give yourself enough time, sit down as a family or sit down as an individual and decide what's most important and tackle those things first. The most important thing is to start.
Yeah, thank you so much. Hello.
Hi,
Hi, Roshana. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fine, thank you. So tell me, what was your role in this project? And can you give us a little bit more about yourself?
Oh gosh, I am the integrated campaign lead at Builders, and my role in this project was I kind of dreamed it up with Tracy from Private Property. We really wanted to find a location and a space where we could create content that customers could relate to and use in their renovation experience. And about me personally, I've been with Builders for just 2.5 years now, and found a very happy place there.
Amazing. So, I mean, renovating and remodeling and, DIYing can be a lot.
Oh yeah.
What are things to look out for, and what tips and tricks that you can give us in getting that DIY right?
You know, Olwethu, there's so much that can go wrong, as you know. So really, it's just planning is actually so important. And I think knowing what you want, somebody famous, I don't know who said it, but somebody famous once said, start with the end in mind. So I really think you have to know what you want. And take your time trying to find the bits that's going to make that vision come to life. And do the homework, shop around, look at the ranges that's available, really, really take the time to plan. Don't rush into renovations at all. And of course, get the right partners on board. There's nothing worse than starting a renovation, getting halfway through and not being able to get more of something that you now need more of.
Absolutely. And that's why, for me personally, Builders has been an amazing partner on our journey, and just finding the things that you need, searching online, prices, budgeting, using the Builders website. And what else makes Builders just that amazing partner when you're on the journey of renovating?
We've got so much available to help, the consumer out there when they're busy with this journey. We've got a wonderful blog with which is a source of really rich content. So lots of inspiration, lots of ideas. I guess everybody starts with the inspiration. What do you want? What do you want to end up with? And then, of course, we have the products available to help bring that vision to life. And we also have really, really clever tools like the Get It Done app. You can find a contractor to help you get the stuff done, and be comfortable and know that that contractor is experienced in what they're doing. So we have so many. We also have credit facilities available. There's lots of people who sometimes are very intimidated, and they sit and they dream of what they would like to do. And it really is possible for everybody, Olwethu. It really is. We make it accessible for everyone.
What's your favorite element of this home?
Oh my goodness, that's so hard to choose.
It must be.
It's really hard to choose. I particularly love the wallpaper that we've utilized.
I do. When I first walked in, I was like, what is that?
Yes, it kind of messes with your brain a little bit, but it's really, we've got an incredibly beautiful wallpaper range. So I'm a big fan of wallpaper, and we've used wallpaper in 2 of the rooms here. But what my favorite room and my favorite element in this house is actually the tiling and how we've applied the tiling cleverly in the spaces. You'll see in the floors, we've used really big tiles.
Yes.
So it really extends a space that's as small as this. And we've used the same tiles throughout the house. And then, of course, in the bathroom, the tiles there are just amazing. It's this hexagon shape, and it's quite Art Deco. It's very cleverly done.
I love it.
Yeah.
I also just love that mixing up and playing around with the patterns in the especially in the shower, to just give it a different kind of, it's white, and then it just brings this vibe across in the shower.
Yes.
I don't know what they were going for there, but it feels a whole lot of modern.
It does. It's got a very Art Deco feel. And I think tiles, you can get really creative with tiles. Just because it's laid out in the shop in a particular way or on the website in a particular way doesn't mean that that's how your tiler can use it.
Absolutely.
So if you have a good tiler, you can get some artwork going in your tiling.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Roshana.
Thank you.
What a beautiful home. What a beautiful home we just checked out. An apartment in upmarket Johannesburg suburb. I'm loving the detail and I'm loving every little bit of thought that went into this apartment and the renovations without major structural changes. I mean, the tiling to the details and the purchases when it comes to the headboards, the wood flow throughout this whole property. Those are things that really, really had me. We also learned about Scandinavian design and the way it gets incorporated and the simplicity of it within a home. So, yeah. I'll definitely put my money towards this as an investment piece. And I think, yeah, there's a whole lot more to explore, and we'll be exploring a lot more of ways in which we can take places to live and elevate them to homes to live on this platform. So keep joining us and tell us if you have a project coming up or something that you're looking at doing within your home or your space. So until next time, we'll chat.